Hello everyone. We just wanted to let our friends know that Ernest Yoder passed away early this morning, or as he was known to most of us, Granddaddy. Granddaddy spent his early years in Virginia Beach, and he made a couple moves even after that. But when they moved here in the early 50s, which was 65 years ago this spring, almost to the month, there was something about this farm, the countryside here in Virginia, the rolling hills, that captured their imagination. They loved the land here, they loved the people, their neighbors, and this was home for 65 years. And they poured a lot of love and energy into this place, and we'd like to show you around a bit. As Granddaddy and Grandmama settled into this community and began to carve out a farm here out of the woods and the hillsides of central Virginia, they began to milk cows, and the dairy would continue for many years, though Granddaddy sometimes worked other jobs off the farm to help make ends meet. During the late 90s, as Granddaddy was growing older and thinking about retirement, he wasn't thinking about taking it easy necessarily. He was just looking for something else to get involved in. And that's when he put up the first greenhouse here on the farm, and he thought it would be a good retirement plan, I guess, to work in a nice warm place in the winter, growing tomatoes. And so in a way that led us down a different road, though we would continue to milk cows for many years, but it kind of got us into the produce end of things, and eventually into agro-tourism and those ventures which we are doing today. Though the transition away from the dairy, which took place 6 years ago, was difficult for all of us in some ways, and it was a big adjustment. It was especially so for Granddaddy, because cows had been here, milk cows, on the farm for over 60 years. But he embraced the new direction, and he was happy to see us continue doing some traditional farming, but also branching out into agro-tourism, the strawberries, the corn maze. He was excited to see families coming out here and enjoying the farm. You know, Granddaddy's life was not an easy life. There was hard work involved, but also, you know, he experienced difficult things. In the early 60s, he was involved in a very bad auto accident that claimed the life of one of his friends. As a result of that accident, he walked with a limp. Never heard him complain about that. And in his later years, probably for the last 10 to 15 years, he was losing his eyesight, and till the very end, he was almost totally blind. But I never heard him complain about that. He always just sort of accepted things with a sweet and gentle spirit, and went on with life. One of the things that I always appreciated about Granddaddy is that he was always looking for things to do. In later years, he couldn't do the things that he used to be able to do. Running equipment, he couldn't do that as easily. But during silage chopping times, though he couldn't run equipment, he would sit out there by the silo, and when the load would come back from the field, he would help get things started and get everything ready to blow the load up to the top of the silo. Just looking for things to do. Same with the greenhouse. He couldn't work with the tomatoes like he once did, but he found things to do. He would wind the support hooks that we use to support the tomatoes, and it was something that was kind of a monotonous job, but he spent hours doing that. It was something that he could do. He put a lot of boxes together to ship our tomatoes in. And that was something that even earlier this week or last week he was talking about putting or wishing he could put boxes together for us. He said, y'all are so busy, I wish there was something I could do to help. And that attitude was something that he just had. Granddaddy was a man of routine. He had the rounds that he would make every morning. He had a group of calves he fed. He would swing by the greenhouse to check on things, and then he would come by the barn and help finish up chores. He did that for years and years, for as long as I could remember. And then in later years, after we sold the cows, he still had his routine. He would come out faithfully to the greenhouse almost every day and sit for hours on a chair there, enjoy the sunshine. And I think that if there's a hydroponic garden corner in heaven, he's probably sitting there on a bench enjoying that as well. But routine and steadiness just describes Granddaddy. That's the kind of man he was. He was solid, faithful. You could count on him. It's impossible to put all your thoughts and feelings into a video like this to accurately capture a 92-year-long life and portray it in a short little video like this. When I think of Granddaddy, I think of a farmer. He was a farmer through and through. He loved the soil, he loved the land, he loved disking. We enjoyed talking about signs of spring. This is a time of the year that's exciting for a farmer, thinking about the coming planting and harvesting and the hoping that this year will be the best year yet. Granddaddy loved everything that went along with working outside. The whippoorwills, the great horned owls, the turkeys gobbling over the hill, seeing the barn swallows flit across the hillsides, and listening and hearing his surroundings. He just enjoyed all of that. Though the farm is certainly part of the legacy that he's left us, and we hope to continue farming these Campbell County hills for years to come. That's only a small part of it. Even more so, the legacy of family, the legacy of perseverance, steadiness, and just his quiet faith in how he lived his life. Those are the lasting legacies that he's left us with, and the things that we'll strive to follow. And we're going to miss him terribly, but we feel very blessed to have been able to grow up on the farm with him around here just across the yard. And we have a treasure trove of memories that we'll hang on to and relive in the days to come.